Hey everybody, Brian here, back after a few months. Let's see, my last video was April, so about 3 months or so. Uh, just going over what I got over the past few months. Now that summer's here and the weather's nicer, that's a great relief for me. I love the summer. I wish it was longer. Living in Pittsburgh, you don't get a lot of sunny days. You get a lot of overcast days, and it really affects your mood. Um, But Pittsburgh is a pretty city in the summertime especially, and lately we've been having good weather, and that's great. So enough about that. Let's get to what I picked up here. Oh, and I'm recording this on the 4th of July, so happy 4th of July to everybody if you're in America. And now we'll get on with what I got. Start off with some McDonald's Happy Meal toys, Nintendo Happy Meal toys. I was able to get a few of them. Just the red Koopa Troopa shell. And this is actually a pullback toy where you pull it back and it zooms. So you all know what those do there. You just like pull them back and they go forward. Also have a 1-up mushroom. I believe it just does the 1-up sound when you hit it. There's a little button right here. And those were the only two I got. I think there's 8 of them. There's like Mario, Peach, Luigi, Yoshi, and Bowser, I believe. Maybe I forget the other ones. On to other toys. Amiibo. This is Alm and Celica from the new Fire Emblem Echoes. What is it again? Fire Emblem Echoes Shadows of Valencia, which is, I guess, a retelling or reimagining, remake, if you will, of the Famicom Fire Emblem game, which we never got. I've heard this is really, really good and kind of different than the other Fire Emblem games in the fact that there's no triangular weapon system where swords beat axes, or I forget how it is. I only have really one experience, not much experience with Fire Emblem, just Awakening, which I liked, and I got Birthright, Conquest, and Revelations, which was Fire Emblem Fates. And I played Birthright a little, and it didn't really pull me in. There was a lot of like building of a castle, which I didn't care for, and they kind of leaned hard on like the character interactions, which I'm not really huge on it, but it was still a good game. I just haven't really got into it. These work with the Fire Emblem Echoes Shadows of Valencia game, and I don't know if they work with the other Fire Emblem games as well, but these are the two protagonists from that game. So I might actually pick up Shadows of Valencia because they have some changes. They got away from a lot of the relationships and stuff, which I didn't care for, so I might actually pick that up and try to get into Fire Emblem more. Also picked up, there was 3 new Zelda Amiibos. They were all retail exclusive. The only one I was able to get was the Majora Mask Link at Target. And they only had a few, so I had to get there early and pick it up. And there was about 7 people in line. We got it when it opened, and I think we were the only 7 to get the ones they had in store. And then people who pre-ordered also got them held at the counter. I then went to GameStop to get the GameStop exclusive Twilight Princess link, but they informed me that all they had were for pre-orders only. They didn't get any extra in, and I called other GameStops, and that was a similar situation. So that one seems really hard to get. And the Skyward Sword one I missed because it went up on Amazon for Prime members only, and I was not available to get it, and I'm not a Prime member either, so hopefully I can get at least the Twilight Princess link if it comes in stock. The Amazon one, hopefully it comes in stock. But I'm happy to have the Majora's Mask link one because I hear this one looks very good. And I recently played Majora's Mask a year and a half ago or so, and I did like it a lot. I didn't do everything in it, and I kind of am getting the itch to go back and actually do all the quests now that I beat the game and see how all that game has to offer. So there we go, Majora's Mask link. And not off topic, but Breath of the Wild's new DLC came out on Friday. Trial of the Sword which has a bonus. Basically, it has 8 pieces of armor, which are scattered by the thief Misko, I think his name is, begins with an M. I don't quite remember. But they give you quests in the quest log, and they give you hints of where this is hidden according to the map location. So if you have the map location, they'll tell you, like, this piece of armor is hidden in a place where soldiers gathered in Hyrule Field. So you look on a map and see there's like a place named similar to that, like maybe a soldier's headquarters or something. You go there and you turn on your treasure chest hunting thing and you find it. It'll beep, you know, if you scan, if you took the picture of treasure chest, you can add it to your shrine, your Sheikah Slate, and it'll beep when it's close. So I got all those, and I also got the Switch shirt, which was available. It's another piece of armor, which isn't a great plateau. It's just a red Nintendo Switch shirt. The other pieces of armor were, you had the pieces of the Phantom armor, Ghost armor from Phantom Hourglass. He's the ghost knight that follows you throughout the Temple of the Ocean King when you go back 4 or 5 times. I haven't beaten Phantom Hourglass yet. I still need to do that. And we'll get on to it. Another Zelda game I did beat finally after this. And there's also the Majora's Mask, which you get just the Majora's Mask. The Tingle outfit, which is really, really cool. And the Korok mask, and I'm missing some other ones I can't remember offhand, but the Korok mask was what I was looking forward to the most, because it'll actually wiggle and make a sound whenever and the little pinwheel will spin whenever there's a Korok scene nearby. I'm really looking forward to this because I'm trying to get all 900 Korok seeds. I'm up to 720 now, and it's really getting hard to find them because I'm down to my last 180. Because I did everything else in the game. I think I'm missing one of the saddles, but all the Amiibo outfits that you get, I upgraded those to the max. Maxed out everything, got all the shrines, got all the memories. I know the world so well, I can probably, from a picture, tell you exactly where it's at. I put about 603 hours into it. I just checked today after I finished up the DLC, and it didn't seem, I mean, that game is chock full of, there's just great things to explore. Like, I shouldn't say chock full, but the feeling it gives you of exploration is something that's very great about that game. I wish there was more dungeons in it, but taken by what it does in the exploration, is just a very magical game experience. And there's also the Trial of the Swords, which is basically a 3-part shrine that gets progressively harder. Each part has so many floors. I think the first one's 10 or 15, the second one's 16 or so, and the third one's 24. And basically, you start off with nothing, just your boxer shorts, and you have to get items, get weapons to progress. And once you progress to a certain number of floors, you can go out and save, and your Master Sword powers up. Then you go back in and try the other one. And you can save between these between each trial. When you do fully get it powered up, it gives you, I'm going to a spoiler for anybody who doesn't want to hear, the Master Sword then glows eternally blue, and there's a cutscene where Link hears Fi in the sword. He can understand what Fi is saying. It's really cool, because I really do like Skyward Sword a lot, and I like the story in Skyward Sword. It's one of the better Zelda stories, and I like Fi, even though she could get annoying. I really liked her character, and at the end when she left Link, it was kind of, I shouldn't say left, but when she went back into the sword, it was kind of, kind of sad. And this Master Sword it like glows blue, and it does 60 damage all the time, and it never breaks, from what I understand, because it hasn't broke on me. And it makes this really satisfying hit when it hits an enemy. It really sounds weighty, like in beat 'em ups when you hit somebody with a fist, or hit with somebody with your fist, it has that, like a good beat 'em up sound. Final Fight example, when you hit somebody, you really feel it. The sound when you hit somebody with Link's fully powered up Master Sword really sounds good. It's different than it sounds like when you hit, like I think when it glows blue, it has that sound. It's a distinct sound I think only happened when you hit Calamity infected guardians and beasts. It has this really distinct sound that I really like. So I finally beat that today, and the trial of the sword was very tough. It took me a few tries to get the first one. The first part of it was very tough. The second one, it took me a few tries, and the third one took me a while. The third one was very, very grueling, but I enjoyed it a lot. So now all that's left for me to do is collect Korok seeds. I'm down to my last 180, I think. Yeah, 180. So I'm going to go use the path of the hero's path. Oh yeah, the hero's path is another one where you go into your map by hitting select and you hit the X button. It'll pop up in green where you've traveled the last 200 or so hours. So I'm going to use that and go to where I haven't gone during the past 200 hours and try to find some more seeds. And oh yeah, speaking of Zelda, I did finally beat Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. It took me a while because I was playing it off and on and I kind of forgot where I was at. It was the toughest Zelda game I ever beat. I got stuck numerous times. I remember one early part where I had to figure you had to find out that you could throw a pot into a door to open it, and I would have never. It would have took me forever to. It did take me forever to find that out. I just accidentally threw a pot at it, or maybe I looked it up. I don't remember, but I was really stuck on that. I did have to look up a few things on this Link's Awakening. It was not straightforward, but that was a good part about it. And I wanted to beat it, so I kind of looked up some things about where to go next. The dungeons were very, very good. The Eagle Tower, the next to last one, in particular, where you have to collapse the columns and it falls down on itself, is very good as well. And the ending tune when you wake the windfish is it's very memorable to me now. There's a lot of great Zelda tunes and songs, but that's a very good song that plays. All in all, I liked Link's Awakening. I wish I would have had a Game Boy to play it when it came out, because there are things about it, mostly the item management switching between with only 2 buttons, that you're constantly switching. I found out I always put the rock feather on and hardly used the shield because I always like to jump. Link's Awakening, great game. I'm glad I beat it. It gave me those missing dungeons that I missed from Breath of the Wild. I'm also playing Legend of Zelda Oracle of the Ages, which is another Game Boy Color game released in 2000, alongside of, I believe it is 2000, released alongside Oracle of the Seasons. Oracle of the Ages I picked because I heard it was more puzzle-based, and it looks a lot like Link's Awakening. It has the same kind of feel, the same sword swinging. The way Link swings a sword in Link's Awakening I really like a lot. In Link to the Past, it didn't feel like as massive and good as in Link's Awakening. You have this long arc that you can hit very, very easily enemies. And it feels really good to attack in that game. Same thing with Oracle of the Seasons. It very much reminds me of Link's Awakening. Basically, Link at the beginning sees Impa, and Impa says, "Follow me." And she takes him into this time portal, and Impa's, if I remember correctly, is being, Naru. You got to meet Naru, and she's being possessed by, or Impa's being possessed by this spirit. I forget that spirit's name, and she ends up possessing Naru, I believe. And you have to meet this tree, I forget his name, and you have to get his memories back to remember what happened. Essences, they're called. And it has a lot of dungeons so far. I think I'm 4 or 5 in. And it's very tricky as well. And I really like those dungeons. Like I said, after playing Breath of the Wild, it's nice to have a good Zelda dungeon. And these dungeons are very good. So I'm playing through that. What else am I playing? I'm getting to a game I recently got and I've been playing, and that's Oasis. Might as well bring this up now. This is made by, I forget the guy's name, who developed the Mana series. Secret of Mana being one of my most memorable games on the Super Nintendo. I haven't played it since maybe 94, 95, but I remember the music most of all and the atmosphere of that game very, very well. The story kind of fell apart, and I found out later that was because of the translation. It was originally a Sega CD game. They couldn't quite do what they wanted to do with it, and they had to cut back on a translation and such, and the story feels kind of weird. Yeah, even I remember when, not playing in 95, I tried to follow the story, and it made sense up to a point, then it kind of just fell off for me. Maybe if I play it again, I do plan on playing it again after I finish probably Oracle of the Ages. I'll take a break from Zelda and play a little bit of, maybe replay Secret of Mana. I want to. And yeah, I think I will start Secret of Mana, hopefully, after Zelda Oracle of the Ages, and play that again. But Oasis, getting back to that, that was developed and created by the gentleman who did Secret of Mana. Basically, it's a 3-person party. You're this last seedling, and in this, a seedling has a magic inside him to grow an oasis, but you need a water spirit to do that. And basically, it used to be teeming with oases in the land, but then chaos came, corrupted the oases, and you start off in your brother's oasis, and chaos, the main villain, corrupts the oasis, and your brother tries to fight him. He's knocked back, and your brother's last efforts is to send you away in a seed out to the desert to hopefully find another water spirit and populate your own oasis. So you don't know what happened to your brother. I still haven't found out if he lived, died, what happened to his oasis. But you're found by Esna, I think, is the one water spirit. She's in the oasis, and she's really down on herself, like, oh, there's nothing. No, I'm the last water spirit. There's nobody here, no seedling here. And then you roll up, and she's excited. You meet her, and she said, hey, let's create an oasis. So you start off, and your first wanderer comes, and you do something for him. He joins your oasis, and then you go from there. And the gameplay is set up between these parts of building your oasis through villagers who come. You solve problems and quests for them. They decide to stay. Your oasis grows. After a certain number of people, it levels up, gets bigger. Those people can build, they're called bloom booths, which are shops. Those shops sell items and such they make through materials that you find for them out when you're adventuring. You give them the materials. These little nook creatures come in. They don't talk to you. They kind of just are funny furry animals that just make funny noises when you talk to them, like "Rawr," and they jump up in the air. And all they do is shop. They're very materialistic. They buy the items. You collect the money from them each day by throwing a tornado into their bloom booths. And the tornado is what the seedlings, who are the chief, they call him, of the oasis, their main power. So when they sell enough things, they level up their bloom booths, and then you can sell different things. And you can, after a point, the game gradually takes you along through these steps. Then you go out to explore to these dungeons, and you find out that there's these crystals. The crystals help fend off chaos. After a while, your chaos will infest your oasis, and you have to find these crystals. You get the crystal, you bring it back, and it removes the chaos, and your oasis gets a little stronger to fight the chaos. And so it begins between the point of raising your town up and going out to adventure and find items to sell, give to the shopkeepers, and fight monsters, find the crystals, find items. And it's very, 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 very good. There are things that are not as great at it, but nothing really holds it back from being too bad, too tedious. There's things in it like you can automate your buying of after a while, you can send out people to get the materials for you. Bring it back. You can auto-populate, so you don't have to go to each booth or shop and give the items to them. But it's still very, like, in the design decisions, I don't know why they decided to do it that way. Why they just couldn't get the materials themselves or whatever. But it's nothing that's keeping me from not playing the game, because the dungeons are very good in it. I'm getting a feel. It feels like Zelda and almost Animal Crossing light with Zelda dungeons. The Zelda dungeons are very, very Zelda-like, and that you get these people in the bloom booths in your Oasis. You pick them to go out with you on quests, and the dungeons. Each one of those people you pick has a certain ability. Like, some can grow up into a ball and enter little tunnels. Others can fly out of a almost like the Deku scrub in Majora's Mask. You can go into a little shrub and spin up in the air and float. Others can knock down black paths in a way with a hammer, or blades can cut through spider webs. And depending on who you pick, so you have to pick these people. They're almost like items that you use to pick to go and progress through the dungeons. If you get to an area where you don't have the right person, you can warp back, get the person, warp back to where you originally warped. So it's quick in that regard. That can get a little tiring if you're in a dungeon and you have to do that a few times, but it's nothing that keeps me from playing. Overall, I really like the game. I'm about 20 hours in. I'm guessing by the crystals, I'm about halfway, I guess. It's really fun. I'm really enjoying it. Very unique. Does give me a vibe. The characters are very well designed and very cute. There's certain sections of these characters here. You see one here. You meet this guy first in his race, and you meet this guy on his race. So I met him first, this race first, then this race, and her. So I think I'm pretty far along, but I'm enjoying it a lot. So that's Ever Oasis, basically. Also, I picked up for Super Nintendo a game real cheap, Last Action Hero. And I kind of got this, but I got it mixed up. I was looking for True Lies, and I got Last Action Hero. This game is not the best reviewed. Actually, I hear it's pretty bad, but I mixed it up with True Lies, which is the one I wanted. But it was pretty cheap, I think $5. Also picked up for the 3DS Bit Trip Saga. I've never played a Bit Trip game. I do have this for the Wii, but I think I will play it on the handheld a lot more, because I'm normally playing a lot of handheld games a lot, more than consoles. And also Darksiders War Mastered Edition, a pun on Remastered Edition. This is one of the last Wii U games being released. There are other ones, like Just Dance 2017 came out, and there's a few others probably for a while. But it's an HD remastered of Darksiders, which I've never played. And I heard this is very Zelda-like in dungeons and items and stuff, so it's by THQ Nordic, and I'm looking forward to that. And one more thing, I went to a church flea market around here, community flea market, with my mother, and she found a lot more than I did, but I did find this dollar GameCube controller. So that's always nice to find a dollar GameCube controller. A dollar controller of anything, it would be great. You look at Super Nintendo controllers, they're like $15 now. You see them in stores and in used stores, so that's nice to get. So yeah, that's a long video, mostly talking about Zelda Breath of the Wild, Ever Oasis, but I didn't have a lot to show you because I've been saving a lot of my money and playing a lot more games. I'm kind of at a point where I'm only going to get mostly Super Nintendo games and 3DS mostly. And I do plan on getting a Switch when Mario Odyssey comes out, and I've been saving GameStop credit and such for that, and saving money up for that. But still getting games, just not getting as many because I have a lot that I already have off my checklist. So there's not a lot left that I do want. That's about it. So I hope everybody has a great 4th of July and you enjoy it. Stay safe, have good food, enjoy your time with friends and family, and just have a good time. So everybody, I'll see you again when I see you. Bye.